All right, let's just get right into it. We need to have a really blunt conversation. The reason so many of us feel broke isn't just about income. It's about spending money on trends that don't matter to impress people who honestly don't care. It's time to stop waiting for a financial crisis to hit and start building real wealth, like right now. And this, right here, is the absolute core of it. Every single time you click Buy Now on something that's going to be irrelevant next week, you are literally reaching into the pocket of the person you're going to be in 10, 20, or 30 years and taking their money. But here's the crazy part. It doesn't feel like you're stealing from yourself, does it? And that's because from your brain's point of view, you're not. You're actually stealing from someone your brain doesn't even know. So why is it so ridiculously easy to choose a cheap thrill today over, say, a secure retirement way down the road? Well, the problem isn't that you lack willpower. It's a glitch in our own wiring. Your brain literally looks at the person you'll be in the future as a completely different human being, a total stranger. Now, this isn't just some pop psychology idea. There's real science here. Some groundbreaking research from social psychologists at UCLA actually used fMRI scans to watch the brain in action. And what they found was wild. When you think about yourself in 20 years, the patterns that laid up in your brain, they're pretty much identical to when you think about a random person on the street. And this shows that disconnect perfectly. See, there's this area in your brain, the medial prefrontal cortex, that's like your identity hub. It's buzzing with activity when you think about yourself right now. You feel connected. But when you try to picture future you, it's like crickets. That part of the brain just goes quiet. So saving for that stranger doesn't feel like a smart move. It feels like you're just giving your money away. This little neurological glitch would be bad enough on its own. But the scary truth is, our entire modern economy is now precision engineered to exploit it. Yeah, welcome to what we can call the micro-trend economy. Social media creates this constant nagging fear of missing out, FOMO. Trends that used to last a whole season now burn out in a couple of weeks on TikTok. And retailers, these ultra-fast fashion giants, they've weaponized this. They drop thousands of new items every single day. And then they hit you with checkout timers and only 3 left warnings to rush you into a bad decision. And the result of all this? A throwaway culture where we're spending real money on junk, and literally one garbage truck full of clothes gets dumped in a landfill every second. So let's put a real number on this. What is the actual cost? Let's say you have a small, what seems like a harmless habit, right? Spending just $54 a month on these trends. If you just invested that money instead, even at a really modest 3% return, you'd have over $7,600 after just 10 years. That is the wealth you are trading for stuff that is designed to end up in the trash. Okay, so the system is rigged against us, and our brains have this major blind spot. Trying to rely on willpower alone is just a losing game. The only way to win is to stop fighting every little impulse and instead build automated systems, financial guardrails that protect your future self automatically. One of the simplest but most powerful guardrails you can set up is the 50-30-20 rule. It's easy. Your after-tax income gets split into 3 buckets. 50% goes to your needs, the absolute must-haves to live. 30% is for your wants, the fun stuff. And then a non-negotiable 20% goes straight to savings and paying down debt. That 20%, that's the money you're paying to that stranger in the future. And look, the 50-30-20 rule is just a great starting point. If you really struggle with impulse buys, something like a zero-based budget might be for you. It forces you to give every single dollar a job, so there's nothing left from mindless spending. Or, if willpower is your biggest enemy, the pay yourself first method is a game changer. You treat your savings like your most important bill. It gets paid the second your paycheck hits, automatically. The key is to find the system that clicks with your personality. So, frameworks are great, but now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the tactical gear. Here are the specific tools you can start using today to fight back against those impulses and start building a life that's actually rich on your own terms. Okay, let's talk about one of my absolute favorite tools, sinking funds. Just think of it as reverse debt. Instead of putting a big expense like holiday gifts or a vacation on a credit card and then paying it off later with interest, you plan for it, you see it coming, and you save for it in small, easy, manageable chunks ahead of time. And setting one of these up is so simple. First, you pick a future expense, let's say holiday gifts. Then you set a goal, maybe $1,200 by December. Okay, that means you just need to save $100 a month. Then, and this is the important part, you automate that transfer. Treat it like any other bill. So when December rolls around, you're not stressed out and scrambling. You're prepared. You've already paid for the holidays in cash. All right, the next big strategy is all about fighting back against this frictionless, one-click-to-buy world we live in. The whole reason impulse spending is so dangerous is because it happens too fast. Your brain's inhibition response, the part that's supposed to say, hey, wait a minute, maybe don't do that. It just can't keep up. So what we need to do is intentionally add friction back into the process. And these techniques, they're surprisingly simple but effective. Delete your saved credit card info from everywhere. Forcing yourself to get up and actually find your wallet is often enough of a pause. Or try this, a mandatory 48-hour waiting period before you buy anything that's not an essential. Unsubscribe from all those tempting marketing emails. Basically, make it harder to spend, and you'll give your rational brain the time it needs to step in and win the argument. So let's be super clear about something. This isn't about depriving yourself of things. It's actually the complete opposite. It's about taking back control so you can stop spending your money without thinking and start living with intention. And this is the real secret to a truly rich life. It's all about defining what actually matters to you. Not to some influencer, not to your friends, but to you. Figure out what you genuinely love. Maybe it's travel or amazing food or a particular hobby, and then spend extravagantly on that. And for everything else, be absolutely ruthless about cutting it out. And that really just leaves us with the single most important question you can possibly ask yourself. Forget about what you see on social media. Just take a quiet moment and think, what does enough actually look like for you? Because when you define your own finish line, you finally stop running someone else's race. You stop stealing from that stranger in the future, and you start investing in them. Because you finally realize that person is you.